Good morning, everybody. We are heading towards Crater Lake National Park in Oregon. It's about 6 hours from our spot in Washington, but since we're so close compared to our normal location of the Midwest, we had to check it out. I love this life with you. I can't believe how blue it is. So we are on our way. Last night we actually drove into Oregon and stayed at a campground right off the road, but it was a little too noisy to film there. So we packed up this morning, got some breakfast at a really cute little diner, and now we are scoping out our next campground because we would like to find one that's going to be a little bit quieter and get our spot claimed so we don't have to worry about it tonight. Yes, okay, so there's a lot of different campgrounds on Willamette Highway 58. So if you're looking for a place to camp for cheap, look along that highway because there's plenty of spots. And last night the first campground we pulled into had plenty of spots available, which we were kind of surprised by because it is the weekend and it's a beautiful weekend in the summer. But that's a good sign, good for us. We were just reflecting on how much a $1,000 investment in our rooftop tent has saved us, because we have gotten to adventure, go somewhere new almost every weekend, almost every month, and we don't ever have to budget or worry about paying for hotels. And right now, a lot of people are getting out, and I've been told that hotels are going for like $400 a night, just regular ones, which is crazy. So essentially we saved ourselves $800 this weekend by having our rooftop tent, which is just so cool. We're excited to check out Crater Lake. It's going to be our 20th national park. And on our way here, we realized we have seen all 18 parks since starting travel therapy. So only 2 of those did we visit before we started travel. It's just wild. One of them was the St. Louis Arch, because that's our home. We didn't know it was a national park before we started traveling. And then the Great Sand Dunes National Park. We went on a spring break with some friends one year. So we are excited. It's a beautiful day. Come along with us. So we've made it to Crater Lake. We're just about to show you guys. It is gorgeous. We ended up getting a campsite at a place about 2 hours away. We didn't quite know that we were still that far away, but that's okay. We've got one secured. It stays daylight for a good while, so we're prepared.
Yeah, we can kind of go in late, and then the drive here was beautiful along 58, going past Crescent Lake, really pretty. But we are now here at Crater Lake National Park, our 20th National Park, and we just got to one of the lookouts, and so we're going to do the Rim Trail today, where you can drive around the whole crater, which is really cool because this national park was really created because there was a volcano that erupted and kind of collapsed in and created this huge crater that's now filled up with water.
Yes, and what's cool about this lake is it's supposed to be super clear. The water's supposed to be super clean, I guess. It's only fed by rain and snowmelt, so there's nothing that feeds into it, and there's nothing that feeds out, which actually stumps scientists because the evaporation rate is only half of the rate of precipitation. So in theory, this lake should be overflowing, but it doesn't.
Yeah, they're not quite sure where the water is going. Their best guess as of right now is that somehow it's seeping out through the walls or at the bottom, but they haven't found where it seeps to because they can track, is this Crater Lake water through various testing. So very interesting. This is also one of the deepest lakes there is, and so it's just under 2,000 foot deep, which is ridiculous to think about.
Yeah, I think it is the deepest lake in the United States. Crazy.
So it was really cool driving up here because it's like you're just going up to this mountain that like has a capped off top, and then you come up to the rim and then you're looking down into this huge lake. There is some an island down there called Wizard Island where there's some of the remains of where it collapsed. During the summer you can take some ferry rides out to the island and do some hiking. I don't think the ferry's open though due to COVID stuff still, but we're gonna find out. And so again, today we're gonna try to drive around the whole rim trail. I think there's a waterfall we're going to see, of course, tons of lookouts, and so we're really happy that you guys are kind of joining along with us.
Yeah, so let's show them. I can't believe how blue it is. Like, looking out is really pretty and it's really blue, but then when I look down, like to the closest water that's next to us, it's like a really, really rich aquamarine blue. Colors in heaven, I imagine they're gonna be like mind-blowing. I feel like this is as close as we can get here on Earth.
There are tons of little chipmunks laying around here. I think to be a national park, you have to have chipmunks in your park.
They're so cute. They're like, give me food.
I think
but you're not supposed to.
I think every national park we've been to, there's been little bitty chipmunks somewhere in the park.
Yeah. It's the best place for chipmunks to hang out. So we're just on the other side of Crater Lake, and it's pretty too. You can kind of see the mountain range that I guess leads up to Crater Lake, which used to be a volcano. Or bigger, or it is, I don't know. But it's very pretty, and it seems like there should be buffalo out here.
I think that's a standard too for national parks. You have to have at least one buffalo.
What about water buffalo?
They count. Even sometimes just a cow kind of works. Well, lookout number 1 was pretty cool, but we're off to lookout number 2. And the cliffs around the edge of the rim are very steep. We saw signs on the way in saying, you know, be careful, you know, falling leads to death.
Don't.
Which makes a lot of sense because if you look how far down they are to the water, it is a good little drop, and so got to be careful.
Don't.
Especially when you're filming a YouTube channel with your back to the edge.
Nope.
But I want you guys to know I'm like 20 feet away from the ledge.
No.
And Megan never lets me get close enough.
Don't. Nope. No.
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay.
What we're finding out from this little board here is the rocks right ahead over my head here is actually hardened lava flow where the old lava flow was, and then when there was the collapse, that's what kind of remained. So there is some that's fell into the lake itself, but you can still see kind of the lava rock, for lack of better terms, hardened up there and kind of sickles.
So Wizard Island is its own little mini volcano. It's called a cone. It does have a crater.
Yeah.
And then there's also another cone under the water.
Yeah, so there's 2 volcanoes
That's cool.
inside a volcano. Talk about volcano inception.
Wow.
We're coming up to the gift shop to get our typical Yeti sticker, but the line is super long. Most of these national parks are still, during COVID times, are limiting to like 7 to 10 people inside, so there's always a long line to wait in.
never seen a fluffier squatch. He looks so happy.
Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
At each lookout, it's really amazing because you just get a different view of Crater Lake and of Wizard Island, and then they have all these great informational plaques around around the rim and a trail that goes all the way around. And so we're just having a really great time driving the rim trail or the rim road and stopping at each little lookout and then getting that view. And so we just stopped in at the visitor center and the gift shop. We got a little snack, a little more than a snack. We already ate it, but some hot dogs and then our sticker. And now we're gonna head back to the car and continue on around. And so we're probably about halfway through the Rim Road Trail. We started in the north, so now we're in the south. So we're gonna go up the east side. We just made our next stop, and we're going to go up to the Videa Falls, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's right off the road, the Rim Road here.
We're now on the east side.
Yes, we are now on the east side, and we do see the falls and hear it from the road, but we're going to go up there and get a closer look at it. It looks like it's kind of multiple levels, real pretty. So take a look.
So we're hiking on Sun Point Trail. It's a Phantom Ship lookout, and apparently Phantom Ship looks kind of like a small sailboat, just out on the water, kind of sailing away. And it looks pretty small compared to Wizard Island, but it's actually 16 stories tall. So it's pretty big.
Yeah, there's only 2 islands in Crater Lake, and this is the second one. And it is really surprising that it's 16 stories tall. But then we were also reading that the lake itself, the largest width is 6 miles across, which it doesn't seem like 6 miles either, but just kind of shows you how big this lake is.
Yes.
This Sun Notch Trail is amazing. The lookouts out onto Crater Lake and then down onto Phantom Ship is spectacular. We highly suggest this trail, and it's only a half mile and it's a loop trail.
It gives you a good view of the coastline, which I feel like we haven't really seen yet. So it kind of looks like the cliffs of Hawaii or something, dropping down into this really beautiful, really blue coast. And I keep thinking there should be like big sea creatures in there or something.
The only thing that we are for sure that lives in the lake that we read about was these native newts, or these kind of salamanders that are down in there. And the Forest Service is kind of protecting those, but we're not sure if anything else is in the lake. We'll have to find that out.
So as far as the fish goes, to smart people's knowledge, there were never fish naturally in the lake, but it was stocked with 7 different types of species, and then today only 2 of those species are still there. So it's sockeye, salmon, and rainbow trout, and you can fish this lake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would have thought it.
They should have stocked like the Loch Ness Monster,
Yeah.
because this would be a really good place for it.
They're running low on those at the hatchery. Happens.
Understandable.
We made it all the way around Crater Lake, And so we're back near the road that we came in on. And so we are going to go ahead and head out of the park and to our campsite, which, like we said, was about 2 hours away, and set up camp for the night. Get the Subaru rooftop tent going and get some dinner going on our little camp stove and camp setup. A little bit of a drive, but it is a beautiful drive on the way there. We just got to our campsite. As you can see, not too shabby. And what's really cool is just down the hill is the lake. This campsite, when we came in earlier today, was actually had a family here, and then there's some more that are just kind of adjacent to it, a double site. This is a single site though. So we got to talking to the family and said, yeah, we're just looking for a campsite for tonight. And they were saying that they were heading out. So they actually let us go ahead and reserve this one by paying for tonight already with the camp host. We're actually in some national forest land, if you were wondering. And then we set up our backpacking tent. And we've done some camping in that little bitty tent before. We don't really use it too much now. We kind of just use it as a placeholder. So if we're going anywhere, we don't leave any of our chairs or other camping gear. We just kind of throw that tent there to occupy the site. So let's go ahead. We'll walk down. We have a path that walks directly down to the lake through our campground, our camp spot. Megan just said that we're at our campsite before dark, which is a rare thing.
Yeah.
So true. Usually we travel so hard that we end up rolling in late to somewhere, and usually we don't know where we're going, so we're like over-prepared this weekend.
We are.
I know, we must be sick.
This is weird.
This is odd. So the lake is down. They're fixing a dam. This is actually like a reservoir. And so they're fixing a dam, so they had to let out some of the water. So it is way down than what it used to be, which is a weird sight to see.
When a good thing goes and another turns bad. When the best of shows is something we never had.
That is so interesting to walk around and see the stumps. So like when they put in the dam and we're going to build the reservoir, they cut all the trees but left the base, the stumps in. So now all those are uncovered because the water's so low. All the docks, because each of these campsites have their own personal dock. And I mean, they're just on the ground now. And just to think how far the water has receded. Supposedly they're almost done with the repairs of the dam. And then the locals were saying that with a good snowpack, this lake will fill right back up. Got to get camp set up, and I think what we're gonna do is actually come down to the lower level, away from our adventure sub, to do some cooking, just using their tabletop instead of our build, so we can be closer to their designated fire pit and just enjoy a little bit of this evening cooking and chilling around the fire and the views of the lake from our campsite before going up to our rooftop tent for bed. So I gotta get that set up.
Well, Ryan got the fire going. I'm finishing dinner, so we're just gonna eat, enjoy the rest of the night, and go to bed. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Until next time, good night. Good morning, everyone. Just woke up, just put my phone on the phone charger, and then now I'm gonna go ahead and get some coffee going. I think we got some eggs, of course, for some breakfast, and then Megan will be stirring here soon. Last night we slept pretty good up in the rooftop tent. Our air mattresses are, I think we got a hole in them, and so I think we got to get some new one of those, but not too bad otherwise. And then last night we had a great time sitting around the fire, eating dinner, drinking drinks, And then we ended up in the rooftop tent watching some Pretty Little Liars. So sometimes on our camping trips, we like to download episodes on our HBO Max and watch a little TV. I'm totally against the camping vibe, but sometimes it's just right.
We've got another fire going.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to wake up.
I got some eggs going too.
Thanks. You're the best.
Might be a little hot. Hot off the French press.
Okay.
We just rolled into Bend, Oregon. This was highly suggested by many of you and then our fellow co-workers here in Washington. Well, right now we're in Oregon, but back in Washington. And so we're gonna go check out the downtown and probably get some lunch because we are hungry, maybe a little bit hangry. So in Bend, Oregon, we hear there's a lot of different breweries which we could go and check out. And then just driving by their little downtown, it looks really cute and quaint. Their downtown is so cute with tons of little shops, bars, and restaurants. And it's kind of funny because no matter where we've been in Bend, Oregon, there's tons of adventure vehicles. So bus life people, van life people, campers, RVs, you name it, it's probably here. You can definitely tell this is a town of explorers.
Thanks everybody for joining in today on our adventure. We're gonna wrap it up and head back home 5 hours up north to Seattle. But if you enjoyed coming along with us this week, please make sure to subscribe and don't forget to like it and comment because we love to hear from you. And until next time,
See
see ya.